You are with the Omega Level Nerds. D Square. I don't know if he ever tells you to get in the chopper. Get in it now. Come kill me. I'm here. J100.
Her. Yeah, she was.
I can holler at her. I gotta fight Cyclops and Wolverine to get that Jean Grey. Never mind, forget all that. I'm gonna hit up.
Right, exactly.
Jelly Rose.
But I'm very, very looking forward to a Doctor Doom that does not suck. I'm actually looking forward to more figures since I do collect them.
And Volsker. Naked.
You know what's funny is I was about to say, could it be that Marvel Girl looks like she's trying to get Twitch viewers?
Yeah, exactly. Are gonna get real nerdy for you real nerds. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, the Omega Level Nerds. We're gonna cast this pod out into the internet. We got a great show for you today, as always. We're going to talk about some recent MCU castings caught me by surprise. The fact that Regal Cinema is closing in the United States and the UK. We're going to learn why a director from season 1 of The Witcher left that project. We're going to talk about some homages that have been paid to Chadwick Boseman. And of course, Peter Parker's going to have a different look in his PlayStation 4 game. So let's talk about that. But before we do, we have a very special guest with us today. Dave from Superhero Speak, sir, filling in for Jelly Rose, who is sick tonight. How's it going, sir?
It's going well. I wouldn't really say I'm special, but you know, I did take the short bus. I mean, no.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. No, man. Thanks for being on. Love. It's gonna be fun. And Volsker, my brother, how's it going?
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty good day. I'm super excited. As you might know, as a Cleveland sports fan, we had one hell of a game against a halfway decent team. So what usually is a miserable entry to our new week is actually a pretty damn good night. So happy here.
Yeah, I share your happiness there, although I have learned to just kind of accept it. But today we got to accept something cool. So, and our Cincinnati Bengals fan, J100, how's your Sunday going?
It's going absolutely swimmingly, as the word of the day is today. Swimmingly. We got the Bengals winning, so that's what's up. We got some Borderlands being played. That was what's up. And then we got some brain cells being dead because I listened to the Breonna Taylor grand jury tapes and them shit's ridiculous. But outside of that, I'm hanging, doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stay back on schedule, you know, with the streams and all that stuff like that. And I don't know, just trying to be productive, trying to make this thing last as long as it can, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Make it work. We're with you, buddy. Good stuff. All right, so let's dive right into it because there's a lot kind of going on. So let's talk about some castings that we have learned about. Let's first talk about the casting of Miss Marvel. That's Iman Vellani. She's a relatively newcomer. In fact, she's a newcomer, unknown. She's going to be doing the TV show, and then when that character moves into the actual MCU movies, you know, she'll be a part of that as well. I can't say that I was surprised or caught off guard or anything, but definitely want to get your guys' opinions. So let's start with Dave. What's your thoughts on the casting?
Well, at this point, I trust anything Marvel does at this point because they haven't steered us wrong yet. But actually, it's funny. I don't think you could talk about this casting without talking about. There was another actress. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. It was also in talks to play Miss Marvel, and then after they announced, after they made the announcement, she went on Twitter and screenshotted the part of the script and the NDA and send it out on Twitter to prove, like, yes, I did, I was in talks. And it's like, you never want to work again, do you? But no, I mean, like you said, she's young, she's unknown. Until we see her in something, until we see a trailer or something, I don't know, but I keep my trust in Marvel's decisions right now.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong in that direction. Volsker, what about you? Any thoughts on the casting?
Yeah, honestly, kind of second Dave there. Like, I mean, I really don't know who she is, but I mean, I think it fits the bill. She's young, she's a newcomer. Pretty much what a lot of MCU castings have done is relatively lower tier or newcomers and then build her up. And the way that she appears, I mean, she could probably fit the role for years to come. So I think that's an excellent job. With what they're doing, and I'm sure Kevin Feige knows what the hell the plan is. So hey.
Yeah. I mean, so you mentioned not really knowing a whole lot about the character, and I certainly don't know a whole lot about the character, but she is, like you said, very young, what some would consider woke, environmentally friendly, all that jazz. Cool character. J100, what about you? Any thoughts on the casting?
So just in the same vein of you guys, is what I will do is I will put that on the people who are hating. So most of the people I believe that are hating don't even know who Kamala Khan is or who Miss Marvel is. And so I really don't even understand why there would be any issue with it in the first place. I mean, did you have an issue when what was her name from Deadpool, Teenage Supernova,
Negasonic.
Firecracker? Yeah, whatever.
Just watch that
you
last
see what
night.
I'm saying? Like, who cares? Like, I don't know who the fuck she is. Am I upset that they got some young actor? Like, no, because who cares? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I hope that she does well. And again, Marvel usually knows what they're doing and how they want things to be done. I mean, because Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark exist. I mean, that was like the greatest casting of all time ever in movie history. So,
agreed.
From a studio that's able to do something like that, I really don't see what the issue is. Haters gonna hate, so we just gonna appreciate when she comes to theaters or to Disney Plus. Excuse me.
Yeah, theaters. We'll talk about that. Yeah, there's going to be some hate here for the character, but it's going to be misguided because you're going to hear. Because if they do her correctly, again, she's going to be a very woke character, very left wing, new progressive character. And I myself like to see these characters be as close to the source material as it possibly can. So, yeah, that's how she should be in the movies. So you're going to see the Quartering, Geeks and Gamers, all of them. There's going to be some hate there. But, that's going to be comic accurate. But it's going to be as silly as the people that complain about Daredevil. There was someone complaining about the interaction he had with Tony Stark, the issue we went over last week. And again, it's like, do you even read Daredevil? He's pretty political there. So, so she'll get hate, but I think she looks great. I think she's going to do a great job.
Yeah. Now she's Inhuman, right?
Yes. Miss Marvel is an Inhuman.
Even the I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. I had a point off of what you said, D Square, but I completely forgot it. My bad.
Oh, no problem. No problem. It happens. But Jay, you mentioned theaters. Yeah, that kind of takes us to our next topic here. So we learned just yesterday that basically all the Regal cinemas are going to be closed in the United States as well as the UK. Whether this is permanent or not is in question, but they have decided. We go to a Regal cinema where I live. It's where I saw the New Mutants. So to think it's possible that I may never step in one again, but definitely a dire sign for the theater industry right now.
Yeah, and just to think that the final piece of straw that broke the camel's back was fucking 007 getting delayed till next year, and they're like, at this point, we don't even have any big films. What the hell's the point of opening? So
yeah.
28,000 people plus are going to be let go.
Yeah, that's definitely tough, and it's funny that it was 007, but I'm sure all the Marvels and DC stuff getting pushed back too. I mean, that was a heavy piece. But you're right. If you're not getting anything, then they're really just useless buildings at that point. Um, what do we think? You know, Dave, do you think they're going to come back from this, or are we done with theaters as we know it? Is it now
Oh,
Disney plus Hulu time?
no. We are not done with theaters yet, by a long shot. And the proof that we're not done with theaters is the fact that they pushed Black Widow back instead of trying to do the same thing they did with Milan, because obviously that didn't work.
Yeah,
They didn't make the money off of that they thought they were going to, so they decided, all right, let's just push Black Widow back. And this is something that, you know, in fact, Don, you and I have talked about on Superhero Speak. These are the tentpole movies. If they don't do well and make the big bucks, these theaters don't make any other movies.
yeah,
And without that, there is no movie industry. We'll get a bunch of dramas every year, low budget, and
yeah.
none of us will watch movies anymore. I mean, this sucks for me because the theater that's closest to my house is a Regal, so it's going to be a farther trip to go see stuff. But the AMC that's near me is a 17 screen.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you can always find there's always something playing, and it's not a big deal. It feels like it's a temper tantrum from Regal. Like, oh, you guys are going to push movies back, then we're going to close. And it's like you're cutting off your nose to spite your face.
I mean, it kind of does, honestly. It's almost no different than what AMC was pushing when they were blocking Universal, because how dare Universal try to make their money back doing digital and minimal release. But
Yeah.
I mean, I hope this isn't the end. I know like film classes and stuff talked about kind of the medium and the experience going to movie theaters. So I really hope this is not the end, but I can see this as really just one major step of a drastic change for the business. And I'm wondering if Regal, when they do this, is anybody else going to follow suit? Because we only have really AMC and Cinemark at this point.
Mm. Yeah, that's strange that they would have a tantrum like that, because there's got to be something they can do to make money. And I know it's more of an experience, but like the drive-through around here, puts on older movies, just for the hell of it. And people, what's that?
They're selling out.
Yeah, I mean, people still, imagine if they put a bunch of old movies in theaters just because there's nothing else going right now. Imagine all the kids that never saw Star Wars or the original Star Wars trilogy in the theaters, or
they actually just re-released Empire in a lot of theaters around here.
Yeah,
40th anniversary.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But think about having a chance to go back and see Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, all this other crap, in the theaters.
Marvel movies.
You can still sell your overpriced drinks and popcorn, and I don't know. I think they'd be able to recoup some losses. That's just me. Perhaps there's some tax thing going around.
The movie theater industry should have been the first corporation to tell your ass to wear a mask and sit the fuck down somewhere.
Yeah.
So overall, at the end of this, the thing that kind of like irritates me is that I personally don't give a fuck about the movie theater. I wouldn't say the industry, of course, the industry, because that's where all the Marvel movies will go, and you buy the tickets, you go, you get the 3D. I like to go to the 3D, get the glasses, do all that stuff. But if we as a society aren't going to do the things that we need to do in order to be able to even go to these places in the first place, like it's getting like bond being delayed, I guarantee is oh shit, we got a couple of people having an outbreak on our set type of situation. You see what I'm saying? Gotcha. And like we're trying to force all these things where like if we actually just sit down for a little while and do what we got to do to flatten the curve, like we were saying in the first few months of this whole thing starting, we would be Wuhan right now having pool parties and shit. But we don't want to do, like, I don't understand why we're being so ignorant. Every single day that we keep trying to be normal when shit's not normal, it's even going to be more months that things are going to be abnormal. And so if you want to go to the movie theater, if you want to go to the football games, if you want to go see a basketball game again, even sit down somewhere and put your freaking mask on and stop doing all this stupid shit, spreading the virus. And then guess what? We can go do those things again, and we can go back to what we would call normal, but a little bit more vigilant, in my view. That's how I look at it. So, I mean, it's really tough for me to feel bad I feel bad for like the employees, if you will, or even the companies, you know, overall, because it's not really like their fault. Like, this is the service they provide, and if it's not safe for people to be in close quarters like that, you know what I mean? Because you can spread it. It's very possible. People are ignorant. People will take their mask off, whatever. Then your business is going to suffer. And so I think that like the issue with that is how we as a society are taking are handling that as a society, and we're not handling it as a society, and therefore this is what we get. So I'm at a point where I'm just like, I mean, I want to see the movies in the movie theater too, but y'all keep coming outside. I don't understand why you keep coming outside, and then you keep coming outside and not wearing masks.
People really are just kind of reckless with this, and it's just going to get to a point. It's just so sad that what coronavirus has taught me really is people just have shit hygiene, and so that's it's terrible that we can't clean that up. And it's going to get to the point to where, like, you're going to go to a theater and they're going to have to spray everybody down before the movie starts. Like, someone's going to have to go out, just fucking hose people down before they watch a movie.
Wait till they come out on TV at that point.
I don't know, man. Because to me, nothing is shut down. There's no shutdown. Everywhere I go is full of fucking people, and their mask under their nose, which I don't get. So yeah.
Well, that's like the other day, like it's kind of off topic, but I went to go take Haley to the pumpkin patch, Schuster's. I was like, oh, you shouldn't be that busy. You know, it's a farm, pumpkin patch. No, there was literally 70 plus cars, people in the hay. I'm like, all right, now we're nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, theaters are a victim due to us just not taking it seriously.
Fucking 2020.
So Volsker, you're a big Witcher fan, both the video game and the show. So I really wasn't aware of this. So I did not realize that one of the season 1 directors, Alec, I'm going to screw this up, Alec Sakharov, quit the show. And I guess he recently revealed why.
Yeah, honestly, I was not really like familiar with that either, because I thought it was a pretty straight narrative. Everything seemed really consistent. But I guess I'm actually kind of glad reading that article that he had a completely like different perspective of how he wanted to pace and redo the season. And I thought season 1 was almost perfect. Like, I loved it. So I'm kind of happy, unfortunately.
Yeah, it did. It talked about he would have paced it differently. In my perception, Eastern European literature has a completely different pace. So yeah, he's saying it's no coincidence that this particular world has so many characters and storyline. So you favor then the pace that it went to versus sounds like a lot slower pace that this guy wanted.
Yeah. And to be able to do that in the amount of episodes, like unless they gave him more, which by the way that he was supposed to do half and somebody else supposed to do half, like I don't think it would have went well, because people's main complaint was the back and forth. It took a lot to get going. If you went even slower, could you imagine what people would be thinking? Like, I don't think it would have got the numbers and everything as it did.
Perhaps it could have explained more of the importance of some of the, because I'm one of those people that had the complaints about it jumping around. Like, why is this Kingdom of Sintra? Why is it even significant? I don't think I could still tell you. But hey, I may not be the smartest, person, but I don't know. I had an issue with the pacing of the show.
Its biggest issue with the pacing was the people, like you mentioned, the jumping and the lack of backstory. but not everybody knows that book 1 that this is based off of was a series of short stories. It was not one novel. So they replicated the short stories as each episode.
Interesting.
Season 2 is supposed to start merging more towards book 3, which actually becomes the first true novel of Geralt, because books 1 and 2 are both short story compilations.
Okay. So you're digging it, you understand it. All right. I'm still gonna watch season 2, but they're lucky my wife likes it.
Does she like it, or does she like Henry Cavill without her shirt on?
I'm gonna say both. And honestly, you know what else I discovered in that vein? Twilight that also seems to be a aphrodisiac. I hate it all you want. I'm just telling you, there's something about. I'm just telling you.
I have a newfound hatred for that, and plenty.
Oh, they're completely ridiculous. Everything about it is stupid, but but not to women.
Whatever gets you a WAP, my guy. Whatever gets you a WAP.
We'll
use the tools in your arsenal.
Right, exactly. If that's what you're into, if that's what you're into.
Sure. Yeah. I guess.
Moving along. So let's Chadwick Boseman. The late great Chadwick Boseman. We've been seeing a bunch of art, murals in cities. Very, very touching stuff. Saw a picture on Facebook that kind of gave me pause, but I think it's cool. Did you guys see the Spawn tribute, the 311? Right? Was it Spawn? Yeah, Spawn 311.
Yes, that's the one that I shared.
Yeah, exactly. I was very surprised that Image would do that. They've got the banner with the date of his birth and death, and then when you look at the Spawn picture there, I mean, it's Spawn, it's Al Simmons, but like the necklace has the little panther teeth, and the things attached to the chain are like little panther heads. So obviously he's doing the Wakanda. So that's pretty cool. I was taken aback a little. I just didn't expect it. I didn't expect an Image tribute like that. I mean, Stan Lee didn't even get that.
Drew it, right?
What's that?
What's his face actually drew it?
McFarlane.
Because he's the one that actually posted it.
Yeah,
which is I think pretty badass, because that just shows you the amount of respect amongst the industry, the artists, the writers that they have for this actor and what he did for the character he was portraying.
Yeah.
So I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Once I kind of got over the shock of it actually happening, I was like, yeah, no, that's cool. And then in X Factor number 4, I'm sure this is going to be in other comics, but yeah, there's a 2-page thing. We got that as well. So yeah, cool.
Rest in power. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I love it. The comic industry is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And actually, his wife is pregnant now. I mean, obviously it happened before all that, but that's another tidbit to that story. So yeah, interesting stuff.
Wait,
but yeah,
what?
I believe I read in passing that his wife is pregnant with child.
Damn.
You saying Chadwick's? Oh shit! I accidentally went to Facebook. Let me see.
Everybody race to the Googles.
I know, I'm doing right now.
So while you're looking that up, I'm gonna give a hot take on this.
Okay.
This is gonna be as bad as Volsker's take on The Killing Joke. I having read many interviews and seen some of the stuff Todd McFarlane has done over the years, I wouldn't be shocked if this was done just to sell more books.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. He's not the nicest man. I've heard of people waiting in long lines to get things signed by him or something like that. And when it was his time to leave, boom, he left, regardless of people waiting hours. So he is an opportunist. So your take's not coming completely out of left field. I definitely get why you're saying that. A little bit of virtue signaling.
Now I'm curious, Dave, to bounce off of that, because D, as I recall, when I first shared that, your response literally was just, And I
Yeah,
asked you
because
what
I
you
didn't.
felt. We're like, I don't know yet.
Yeah, no, you're right. That what my initial was not. Yeah, I
Were you
questioned it.
thinking the same thing?
Yes, yeah, I was, but I figure, hey, okay, it wouldn't be a popular take. I think. Oh, okay, dog thing doesn't like that one either.
You just gotta say it, whether people like it or not.
There's a huge difference between Todd drawing that and putting it out on Twitter and social media for people to look at, and him making it the cover of a book.
Very possible. Yeah. No. That's a good point.
So based off of my quick search, it's just a rumor. People were saying that his wife kind of gaining some weight was indication, but that just sounds like it's just Twitter bullshit.
Just a Twitter bullshit. All right. Appreciate that.
Yeah, because shit, I was taken aback for a second. I said, what?
Yeah, that really would have been crazy.
Jay, I'm curious. What is your opinion on the Spawn cover? Because I know you're just the whole situation, and you're very Black Lives Matter. Then you're very Chadwick Boseman. So I'm just curious what your take is on that.
So I mean, like, as far as like a tribute, I don't really see anything wrong with that. I think that just like Dave was saying that, like, it seemed a little kind of,
virtual signaling.
I'll put it to you like this. It seemed a little Kobe jersey with the Black Panther thing on it at the same time. It seemed kind of like that. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that, but like,
sure,
there's all of these, like, I get all these ads that have these Kobe / Chadwick Boseman / Black Panther / Lakers / like mixed together type of thing. And like, I'm not buying that. Why would I buy that from some like Bangladeshi fucking place that's just trying to make some money off of people's pain and sad? Like, that's fucking no, I'm not gonna do that shit. So in a way it can kind of be viewed that way or whatnot, but overall at the same time, like, I think that just comes with like the comic book territory. And so like, I mean, as far as like getting magazines out there and having the issue that has that tribute in there, if that's important to you, I kind of see it that way. But I mean, as long as they ain't got no Kobe Chadwick jersey sales going up in that mug, I don't really see too much of an issue of it. I mean, the biggest part about it is I think that, especially to me personally, I mean, I don't want to speak for many others, even though I probably do, but again, I called the Black Panther movie Black Christmas. That's what I called it for like a month. And the reason why is because, like, never had I ever, I mean, of course there's movies with black male leads and all kind of stuff like that, but never have I ever felt something or seen something so, like, I don't know, it because it was fantasy, and because of growing up being like growing up a nerd or whatever. When people are like, oh, who's your favorite superhero, and I'm like, Iron Man, and they're like, oh, do you mean War Machine? And I'm like, first off, that's fucking racist. Number two, like, no, I don't fucking like War Machine. I said I like Iron Man, you know what I mean? And like for me, like Iron Man, I relate to Iron Man outside of like maybe what we look like, right? And I had to come to grips with that, being 34, being coming up in an age where like there just wasn't really diversity like that. Now, again, I take that to when that fucking scene, I saw it again a couple days ago, that scene when Miles Morales finally got his power straight and into the Spider-Verse, and he was upside down, they did that slow motion thing, and
he owned the moment.
If I was 6 years old, I'm 34, I was 32 when I first saw that, and that shit made me fucking cry, okay? Like, not like like when Iron Man died, but like, I had a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, this is powerful. So if I'm feeling that way as a 32-year-old, imagine what a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old who likes Spider-Man but now sees a black one. Like, what? Wait, what? You know what I mean? And so for what Chadwick Boseman showed like on the big stage movie end of it, I think that can resonate beyond races, beyond genders, beyond all that stuff. Just the age of representation is upon us. And so even with Shuri, seemingly supposed to be the next Black Panther, imagine what that's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Kamala Khan coming, you got all this stuff, and like I understand that people feel like they're losing something, but in the same time, you're gaining so many people that have never really got into this stuff before, all because there's someone that they can relate to now. And if that can transcend, comic book manufacturers, artists, writers, all that kind of stuff like that as well. I do see where the opportunistic part comes from and the selfishness comes from, and I guess that again, that's kind of like part of the game. But if a little bit of that is in good faith, I'll take the progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Spider-Man, and I know I'm kind of doing this in a weird way. I didn't mention the other MCU casting that I wanted to talk about. I actually might talk a lot about it. But I wanted to kind of do a Spider-Man segment because Dave is a Spider-Man fan. So let's talk about the casting, right? Jamie Foxx, Electro, once again. I was very surprised by that.
I had to do a double take. I was like, wait, what the fuck? What was posted?
Yeah. But there's a little bit of precedent set there because they recast, the person that did J. Jonah Jameson from the Amazing Spider-Man series. So there's precedence to that. But also, and, it was what I saw on Facebook where, like, the theory is WandaVision is going to mess up the time, it's going to mess up reality. And then, like, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is going to be all about fixing it. So we may, so this just lends the question, is this going to be Jamie Foxx returning as Electro for the MCU, or is he returning to Electro because we're going to get some of that reality back from the Amazing Spider-Man? What do you think?
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, jump in.
Oh my goodness, this is good and bad, I think.
Yeah.
Because it does open the opportunity to do Spider-Verse, which a lot of people want. However, I read an article where they were talking to J.K. Simmons about coming back as J. Jonah Jameson, and when they initially talked to him about it, it was like, okay, you're going to come back as Jameson, but of course this is the MCU version, so do something different. That's why he's not wearing the wig. But the people from Sony were like, no, you are the same character in the same universe. And so everyone knows that Sony's been pushing for a long time to do a Sinister Six movie. So it feels like this is a way for them to now push Electro back in and keep him so they can do a Sinister Six and tie everything together. I don't know. I like Jamie Foxx. He's a great actor. He might have been a little over the top in Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I think they'll rein that in a little bit in the MCU. But I don't know. Because I don't know where they're going. I think we have to see WandaVision to see if any of this stuff about opening up multiverse is true.
Yeah.
How else do you explain it? Like, do you redo his origin? That's just going to confuse moviegoers, I think.
It could, but I think you've got a point there with the Sinister Six because a good portion of the Sinister Six have already been in movies.
Right.
So they're out there, and I know that's something that Sony wanted to do. So hopefully them, Kevin Feige, Sony, they got together and said, okay, this is how we can do it. Especially with this multiverse shit going.
Yeah.
It's such a tease. It is such a tease because I am a huge Raimi fan, so that I love Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And we can throw Andrew Garfield out the window. I don't care. Bring Miles Morales. He doesn't exist. But Holland and Maguire, and just, you guys know I've talked about this before because they also brought Raimi back for Multiverse of Madness. So I even said that I thought it would happen in there since they're toying with multiverses to begin with. But if this opens it, oh my god, just please, just give it to me. Let's have some theaters open, hopefully. Let's just go get it. Come on.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen for sure. I do. So, speaking of other Spider-Man, or more aptly, Peter Parker news, now you're going to have to help me understand this as a boomer, I guess, because I don't quite understand what the problem is here. So, the look of Peter Parker is going to change in the video game because the actor that they use as the model has quit. But it's video games. Why does it matter? Help me understand.
Capture. Because the guy played Peter Parker in the PlayStation 4 perfectly. He literally was awesome. His voice acting, just how he was digitally scanned, his motion capture was perfect. And then they're basically replacing him with an all new Peter Parker, but it's the same story. Like, it literally just, yeah.
I'm having a hard time understanding how they couldn't take from the first in. I mean, we've got video games where you can customize your junk. I mean, they can't. I guess. I mean, that's why the dots aren't getting connected to me. I don't understand.
Because I think it's now more, with the higher the resolution, the technology, PS5. What they're doing is it's a remaster, but they're remastering from the ground up a game that's only a year and a half old. So instead of just going, oh, we're going to bring this Peter Parker and this Spider-Man, and we're just going to up the resolution, like, they're literally recapturing a lot of the game. So they have to go back and recapture or edit him with this new voice actor. It's just, yeah, it's a shit show. And I love Insomniac, and I love the Spider-Man game, but this is just ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know the exact reason why. I mean, that he quit or whatever, unless I missed
Something
that.
about
But
his face or something, he said. Like, I'm gonna look it up.
But overall, I mean, like, unfortunately, one thing that gets lost, especially me being an aspiring voice actor, one thing that gets lost in the I guess the voice acting game, and even with motion capture and stuff as well, is they don't really treat them fairly at all. There probably does need to be a union of sorts when it comes to the voice actors, because it's a lot of hard work, a lot of labor put in, and sometimes, in my circles, I've heard of artists not getting paid. I've heard of artists, you know what I mean, getting paid too little, putting in the work, doing what they got to do, blah 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 blah. Then I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff that a lot of the actors go through, and I think that I'm not saying that this is what happens. I'm just saying that, or that's what's happening with this guy with Spider-Man. I'm just saying in general that is probably a big factor into why someone would want to give up such a big title like that.
Yeah.
He was fired. He was not.
Fired. Okay. Well, in that case, there you go.
PlayStation, I'm assuming Insomniac put this out, but PlayStation blog, we loved working with John Bubniak on the original game. However, to get a better match to Peter Parker, Spider-Man's actor Yuri Lowenthal's facial capture, we cast Ben Jordan to be the face model to replace him for the PS5 version.
I mean, I guess that's fair, right?
I guess it doesn't make sense to me, but okay.
I mean, it just sounds like one of those situations where I don't think they thought that Spider-Man was going to be as successful as it was, thus therefore creating a video game universe.
Yeah.
Which, if they're going to do that, then they're going to need to tighten it up, just like Marvel Cinematic Universe, kind of
almost like backtracking on the casting. Like, oh, now it's bigger. Let's get somebody who we actually wanted, pay the extra money, and
yeah.
Shitty move though, I think, because like, is that guy
Well,
going to
that-
get compensated? Like, because this is technically his game that he was still part of. Like,
Well, if
it's
he's
just
not in
kind
a
of a shitty
union,
move.
there's no Screen Actors Guild for that sort of thing, I don't think. So probably not.
really.
Probably not. All right. Well, let's move out of our main topic and let's get into the weeds. So, Volsker, you read X Factor number 4?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
So, X Factor number 4 is the second book in the big X-Men X of Swords event. The first one, of course, was X of Sword Creation number 1, which we talked a little bit about last week. Of course, very intense, I'd say, intense amount of information in that issue. X Factor number 4 was a bit more dissectable, and so really the major things that we learn is, first of all, we learn a lot more. Like, if you don't know about the whole other world and Saturine and all that, we actually do get a pretty good summary here of that. So let me so what she sets up is this conflict where these 10 champions from each side, Krakoa, Arakko, they're going to get these swords, they're going to fight, and if the hordes of Armanth, if they win this fight, they're going to get to go into Krakoa and Earth and ultimately destroy it. So now we've got to find the sword bearers, and we learn a little bit about that. But so here's just kind of, let me read this so you understand this whole other world and Saturine just a little bit more. So the provinces of Otherworld exist on a great wheel. Over time, as the favor of each kingdom does rise and fall, all serve the center where sits the Starlight Citadel and her Winus, the omniversal Majestrix Opal Luna Saturine. So that's like godlike character we talked about last week. The lands are split into 12 halves, fair kingdoms and foul kingdoms, and while treaty and conflict ensure a state of uneasy peace and reliable conflict between the nations, Saturine stands above them, watching over the entire land where all realities meet. So yeah, she's kind of the one orchestrating everything, and we're getting the chess pieces started here. Now, in the last issue, there were there was casualty and almost casualty. There was Rockslide, who the summoner guy killed, and then Richter, who was wounded. They got back to Krakoa, and then he eventually died. In this issue, they revive both of those characters, because, the X-Men can just revive people now. But what they found out was that Rockslide, who died in Otherworld, came back different. His copy that they make with the big bucket that Professor X wears on his head now, Cerebra, he makes a backup copy, as convoluted comic shit. But if they die in Otherworld, it gets corrupted. So they discover that if you die in Otherworld and you get resurrected, you're going to come back different. Richter was okay. They revived him because he died on Earth. He was okay. Now, before they learned this, they thought it was the eggs that were corrupted. Our good buddy Goldballs, otherwise now known as Egg. He's, all freaked out. So they, okay, we're going to kill all these eggs. They're not viable. And then they learn it wasn't the egg's fault. Again, it was the fact that he died in Otherworld. So that kind of gives us more stake here in this conflict. Because now we know, because by the way, Saturine is like, oh, forget that going back to Krakoa shit. Boom, you're all stuck in Otherworld now. Destroyed the gate, that eternal gate that Krakoa didn't want destroyed. Well, now it's gone. All the combatants are stuck in Otherworld. But yeah, if these X-Men die in Otherworld, they're not coming back. And they have to pause the resurrection protocol anyway, even if you do die on Earth, because they destroyed all the eggs because they thought they were the problem.
Which is crazy because now that you mention that too, I think it's also worth mentioning when Apocalypse was basically sitting there dying, he's getting thrashed by Xavier and Magneto. Like, you fucking made a mistake. You didn't
Yeah.
believe us. You didn't trust us. And then they basically was like, by the way, when you die, we can't resurrect you for a while. Like, they just straight out told him, like,
Yeah.
have fun. Peace out.
Yep. Resurrection protocol is paused. And if you do die, you know what? We're not even going to fucking miss you that much. He doesn't end up dying, though. But yeah. Yeah, the Apocalypse did this whole thing without the Quiet Council's approval or knowledge, and so there you're like, if he dies, he dies.
So, stupid question. What is the connection with Richter and him?
That is a new thing. They have not quite explained that yet. I'm thinking he's possibly related to Apocalypse somehow.
Okay. Because that threw me off.
Because, yeah,
like,
I know he's reaching for him. Apocalypse. Yeah. Apocalypse.
Right.
He cried in the last issue. Now he's reaching for some dude's hand.
Well, he even said, I didn't expect to have this connection for you. And he was trying to get them to save him and not him. And then he ended up dying, which I was like, what the fuck is going, what?
Yeah, Apocalypse is acting real strange for a guy named Apocalypse. But there he is. So that's really the biggest developments. That's where we are in this X of Sword event. Now we just have to find out who all the sword bearers are going to be. We learn in this one who a lot of them are going to be on these data pages. And then one of the very last shots is of course of Magic. You know, she steps on her little area of the circle and is like, let the drums of war pound. So
yeah, she fucking owned that ending.
All because she's Magic and she's a badass and she's just loving being one of the field captains, one of the war captains.
Magneto is one shitty ass father.
Yeah, he is.
In every universe, he just sucks.
He's like bitching at her and she's like going crazy. Couldn't, like, what
I
the
know.
hell? And then him like basically verbally abusing her caused her to remember what she had to, like, what the
yeah, there's like, see, I had to do that. Like, yeah, okay, I'm sure that was the key. I'm sure.
Gaslighting motherfucker right there.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, there we go as far as the X of Sword. As far as X-Men goes, again, I'm going to show that again. You should go out and get that. It's like a mini graphic novel of the giant size X-Men, but it's funny reading this and they're fighting Krakoa, and then today they live on Krakoa like it was a and how they get Krakoa shot off into space was actually pretty cool. So check out that the Wine and Cockrum tribute there of the giant size X-Men. Anything you've been reading, Volsker? I know Transformers, Terminator, anything you know, I know we're gonna do what you're reading, playing, or watching, but any weeds you want to get into?
Honestly, we can kind of circle back around that because it was only 4 issues, so it's nothing too crazy. Honestly, not too much other than the Joker War, because I've been following the Tom King and Tinian Batman arc.
Yeah,
and it's actually really cool because they pulled what is it? They pulled something Marvel did with the Incoming, where they kind of set up actually the future of the comics more than actually, but it was really cool because what it is it was a bunch of short stories about certain characters and what they're going through right now during the Joker War. And then it says to be continued in 2021. So it is literally setting up future Batman arcs, which I thought was really cool because you have Joker, like, this was the coolest part of the comic was Joker was talking shit to Bane. Bane's like all chained up and he was calling it a mechanical vampire because it was sucking all the poison out of Bane. And they put the gun to his head. And then what's crazy is he was just like, I want to kill you. I want to kill you so damn bad. You had the greatest opportunity that any of us have ever had. You could have been the best Batman villain ever. But what you did was screw up. And I was like, where's this going? I was like, what the fuck? And found out, he was like, when you decided, spoiler alerts, to kill the butler, you did it in front of Robin. You did it in front of the baby bird. Why didn't you call or text message or video conference Batman? Because that would have been the way to break him for the rest of his life beyond
Right.
anything that I could have done. And I was like, oh. And he was like, oh, by the way, Bane, I will kill you. You don't know when, but I will be coming back for you. And it just, that short story was
Wow.
done. And I'm like, oh, okay. So this shit's about to get crazy.
Batman sound a little spicy. Wait a minute now. What is this? What is
Well,
Batman
you
killing?
remember Volsker thinks that Batman is going to kill the Joker.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, we
We'll
got
see
one
if that
more issue
happens, and
left
then we'll
to
see if they put it in a damn movie.
Hey, you know, if you want to know about killing the Joker, I really recommend a really awesome comic called The Killing Joke.
Oh.
Yeah, we talked all about it in the last superhero speak, so check that
It's
out.
not as good as everybody says, but it's pretty decent.
Oh.
Shots fired. Shots
That's a
fired.
Batman. That's a Batman fan saying that. I'm just putting it out there.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll chop these weeds down and we'll get out of them. We'll certainly continue to let you know how the extra storage is going, as convoluted as it may be. Hickman's stuff gets clearer as you get further into the story. So, all right. So let's go ahead and help you Wednesday Warriors out. Let you know what's coming out in your local comic book shop this week. So yeah, on the 7th. Again, though, DC stuff does come out on Tuesdays now, right? Tuesdays now that they're not with Diamond. So when we talk about DC, you can actually go on Tuesday. Boom Studios, not much going on with them. Buffy the Vampire Slayer number 18. And Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rise of Draken, trade paperback. And We Only Find Them When They're Dead, number 2, is also coming out for Boom Studios.
That is a good comic.
Yeah, you like that. You mentioned that you like that a lot. All right. DC Comics, again, these are actually coming out on Tuesday. American Vampire, 1976, number 1. Batman, number 100, coming out on Tuesday.
The Joker War. There we go.
End of the Joker War. There we go. Batman, The Adventures Continue, number 5. DC Essentials, number 26. Superman, The Return of Superman action figure. So it's if you're into that. And DC Deceased Dead Planet, number 4 of 6 is also going to be out. Dynamite Comics, we got the Green Hornet, number 3. Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, The Death of Nancy Drew, number 5. Red Sonja, number 20. Scared 6, number 3, with a bunch of covers on that. IDW, Batman, The Max Arkham Dreams, number 4. My Little Pony Transformers, number 3. So hopefully I get that one, get a copy of that from good old Dave there. Sonic the Hedgehog, Bad Guys, number 1. Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Too Long, A Sacrifice, number 3. Star Wars Adventures, number 1. Transformers 84, Secrets and Lies, number 14. And Transformers Back to the Future, number 1.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that is right, because the DeLorean Transformers actually on pre-order right now for
nice. Yeah.
Which I might actually grab.
I'm telling you, man, IDW is just killing it. I love what they're doing.
IDW and Boom, honestly, if you rank them, even compared to DC and Marvel, I think the stories and the quality of the books that they release gives a better variety, and honestly, a lot more heart goes into what they're doing versus just trying to push for money. Like, I love those two companies.
Yep. Mad Cave Studios, Hollywood Trash, number 1. I actually reviewed that. Should be on superherospeak.com pretty soon. Marvel Comics, Amazing Spider-Man, number 49. Are you collecting that, Dave? I know you're a Spider-Man fan, but I know you don't necessarily collect at this point.
Yeah, no. I haven't collected in a while, but a friend of mine is actually doing some covers for that one, so I'm gonna have to pick a couple up to support him.
Nice.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, that is. That's cool. Yeah, Dave's into industry, man. Black Widow, number 2. Champions number 1 of 5. Deadpool number 7. Is that still in your pool list, Volsker? You still getting the Deadpool stuff? Yeah.
Because that was the image I just sent you a couple days ago, where issue 6 he broke into Krakoa.
Yeah.
Which was kind of freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I might read that. Here's one on my pool list: Marauders number 13. I don't know how far along, but with all the X of Swords stuff, I'm going to be getting all of them. But
is that what, chapter 3?
Yep.
All right, shit, I'll have to make sure I grab it then.
Yeah, I know, man. The X-Men are forcing you to get, like, normally I stay with the mainline stuff, but X-Men, I mean, at least they map it out for you. But yeah, 22 issues. 22 issues for that whole event.
Oh, can you imagine it's like skipping this last week's?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you would have no clue, like, wait, why aren't they reviving people?
You'd be like, hey, this is yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'd be like, hey, this is no problem. They can just revive now. But nope. Rise of Ultraman number 2, Spider-Man Marvel Snapshot number 1, Star Wars number 7, Thor number 8. Interesting about Thor, for those of you maybe not following Donny Cates, he alluded to Frog Thor coming up. So that'll be interesting. We're going to get to see Frog Thor in Donny Cates' Thor run.
You mean Beta Ray Bill or Chrono Trigger Frog?
Well, it's Chrono Trigger Frog, but with Thor powers. But
all right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he puts that in the fold. Another one that's probably on my pull list because of X of Swords, Wolverine number 6, and then X-Force number 13, which is my favorite book right now, other than the fact that they fucking put Colossus in jail, even though he's the greatest X-Men ever lived.
Chapter 3 and chapter 4?
What's that?
Do we have chapter 3 and chapter 4 for X of Swords this week then?
Actually, we might have more than that. Let's see. Hold on, let me look at the cover here real quick.
Because these books are huge too. It's like,
oh yeah, they're gonna. Okay, so Marauders is part 5. So what is part 4? Let's look. Is it Wolverine? I think it might be Wolverine. Might be part 4.
Oh yes, it's X-Force, Wolverine, and the Marauders, I believe.
Yep. So yeah, three X of Sword books coming out this week.
I think each book there's probably going to be about a character trying to grab their sword.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, and then so with Xenoscope, we've got Grim Fairy Tales number 41, if you like scary stuff. Myth and Legends Quarterly Aries number 1, and Robin Hood, Robin Hood Justice number 4. So if you want a female ripoff of the Green Arrow, that's your character right there, Robin Hood for Xenoscope. I've actually reviewed some of the. It was good,
just get
but
a Robin Hood tights comic,
Yeah, that's a great movie. So yeah, there you go, guys. Go out and grab them. What was that, Jay?
I said Robin Hood Men in Tights is one of the best.
It is. He split Robin's arrow in twain. I'm gonna watch that now, like relatively soon.
I have the whole collection of them. Some Spaceballs while you're at it.
Let's give him a chop. Okay. Watching 90s pop culture references. All right, so there we go. There we go, guys. Go get your comic book. Support your local comic book shop, please. All right, guys. Well, we got through a lot, but before we go, let's see what everyone's reading, playing, or watching. Our esteemed guest, Dave, the host of Superhero Speak, we'll start with you, sir. What you reading, playing, or watching right now?
Right now, watching, I'm catching up on The Boys. I'm actually a couple episodes behind, but tonight, actually no, not tonight because it's too late for me. But probably tomorrow I'll try to get caught up. And reading, it's funny because I've kind of gone down a rabbit hole of reading some classic books after I reread The Killing Joke for our last discussion on my show. I started reading Death in the Family again. So, which really should have been the end of Jason Todd. I'm sorry for all you Red Hood fans, but
yeah.
cheapen his death by bringing him back. I always hate that. So
It was a
Yeah.
Lazarus death, right? That they brought him back with.
yeah,
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah. So that's currently what I'm watching and reading.
All right. And J100, sir, what you reading, playing, or watching?
As far as reading, what I need to do is, and I'm probably gonna do this tomorrow. I'm gonna go to Walmart or something. No, not Walmart, Target or something. And get me a board, and I'm gonna put the board right here on the wall, and it's gonna be. You're gonna get. So I'm starting to read The Boys. So you're gonna get to issue certain on The Boys this week, and you're gonna get to Boruto, certain whatever this week, and you're gonna get to My Hero, and you're gonna get to your other books. I'm gonna have all this. I'm gonna have this accountability board so I can read this shit that I need to be reading because I'd be getting caught up in other shit and I'd be forgetting to read. But I'll be reading like news articles, and then I have my book club and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm reading all the time. It's just not, the cool, fun stuff that I should be. But
Right.
I have The Boys. I read, I want to say the first issue and a half of The Boys because I'm watching The Boys and shit is amazing. And I'm caught up, by the way, Dave. So I'm no spoilers or anything, but you need to get caught up. It's a couple more episodes. I know where you are. There's a couple more episodes. Just power through. It gets good. Trust me. And then Boruto. I'm trying to read that, and then I do want to actually read My Hero again, especially because I kind of feel like I got off that train a little bit. And I recently bought there was a My Hero shirt on sale at Target or something, so I or something like that. So I got that, and I was like, man, it made me want to read it again. So I got to do those, hold myself accountable. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Probably before I'm gonna have to wake up. So this is gonna be a fucking adventure. Okay, I'm gonna wake up early. I'm gonna go to Target. I'm gonna get an accountability board so I can yell at myself for not doing them or for not doing what I'm supposed to do. But I'm watching the Boys. I'm caught up on that one. Hannibal still. I started The Good Place. Now, I've watched The Good Place before, and I think I got to season 3, but I just didn't remember the details. And now it's starting to come back to me. I'm already in season 2. It's starting to come back to me a little bit, but I'm watching The Good Place. And The Good Place is cool because it's really not even about heaven or hell. It's about philosophy. And I think it's like a cool dumb way to get into philosophy without even knowing that you're getting in philosophy, which is the whole point of the show because they don't even know that they're in philosophy. Okay. And then playing Borderlands, you know what I'm saying? Bang bang, loot. And I'm trying to build a crew with that because on PC I'm almost done with the story, which then I will move to the DLC. And then based off of the mayhems and all that stuff you can do to add to the level or whatever, I think I'm gonna level up pretty quickly here after I beat the story because I'm gonna just juice it up a little bit. I want to play the Avengers because my friend was telling me about it, but and I do have the money for it, so I should just get it. But I just don't. I can't do it. I can't. It has to go on sale. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't see why. I don't see myself justifying $60 for that. But yeah, it's just pretty boring. I just have other stuff that I'm trying to get through the grind, and that most of the other stuff is taking a back burner. But the amount of stuff that the amount of the grinding that I've been doing in Borderlands and the amount of binge watching when I'm not playing Borderlands has been monumental. I need to add some reading in there, but that's what's up with me.
Awesome. And Volska, what you reading, playing, or watching?
Yeah, so reading wise, it's another big week for me. Trying to get through my stack pile of comics. So I got caught up on 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Deadpool, which was actually really cool. For those that aren't reading it, he's basically now the king of monsters
Yeah.
because he accidentally killed the king. So now he's the king, and he's doesn't know what the hell to do, which is actually really pretty funny. His leading up to the Krakoa issue, he was actually going against Craven's son, I guess, is a hunter now. So go figure that one.
Okay.
Then just got caught up on Batman. Was saying the Joker War kind of compilation, and then the Batgirl issue. Which the Batgirl issue was insane because like a relative was just murdering redheads because they had this like passion to kill Batgirl, but they didn't want to actually do who Batgirl was. So it was just really off the wall type shit.
Wait, like they wanted to kill Batgirl, but they killed people that looked like her because if you actually try to kill Batgirl, you get your ass kicked, or what?
Because it was her brother who's psychotic. So he didn't want to kill Barbara, so he wanted to. He found all these random redheads, killed them, and then started to progress with a fetish of like, hey, let's have sex, but get in a Batgirl outfit, and then just murdered them and dropped their dead bodies somewhere.
Oh boy. Well, at least they didn't put that in the Killing Joke animated
That
movie.
sounds swell.
Yeah, it's pretty chaotic. I didn't even know she had a brother, so go figure that one. What else? Terminator Transformers. I just finished 4 issues. Definitely leaves for cliffhanger, so I'm assuming there's going to be. And IDW is usually really good at doing extras because they did like TMNT 1, 2, and 3 with Batman. But to give you a little bit of premise, so what's crazy about this is humans are gone. Terminator survived.
Okay.
Terminators were actually developed by humans to fight Cybertronians who took over the world. So at first I was like, what the fuck's going on here? So they send a T-800 back. Looks like Arnold, typical bar scene, gets his leather jacket, and goes into Sarah Connor's restaurant. Kind of, hey, do you wanna come show me where this volcano is? And then what happened is the volcano, it wasn't what they were looking for. They were looking for the ark that was crashed into the volcano. So it took the premise of both Transformers 19 in the 80s and Terminator, how they both started, but blended them together. So what happened was you find out is the T-800 was not really going back to kill the Cybertronians, even though that's what it was programmed. What happened was the Autobots never woke up in time when the
Judgment Day and all that happened.
The fucking volcano went off. The volcano caused the Decepticons to wake up. They killed all of the Autobots and they took over the world.
Wow.
So they're piecing that Decepticons, Autobots, that doesn't exist. It's all Cybertronians. So then basically, by mistake, Sarah Connor resurrects Optimus Prime and starts this war. And then it's just, it's really crazy to cram all this in 4 issues. But then the ending makes it seem like, oh shit. So you have Sarah Connor working for Skynet, and then something happens at the end. You're like, where are they going with this? So yeah, it was really damn cool.
I'm telling you, IDW does not get enough credit. They've crossed over Transformers with Terminators. Before that, they put Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers in the same universe where we're getting where we're getting Green Ranger, Shredder, and all that. They're doing good things, man. They need to get more sales. That's all there is to it.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. Then the last real crazy thing was they only find us when we're dead. So this is really crazy shit. So take like Firefly, Han Solo, you got all these cargo what the hell's the term, basically like space thieves. What they're doing is gods exist, but they don't know they exist until they're dead, and their bodies are gigantic. And what these space pirates do is they go in, with permission, drill parts of the flesh and robotics off of the gods to go sell and try to make money.
Okay.
So it's really crazy shit, but
well, that's
I have
in the deep end of the pool.
A lot more to it than that, but that's only issue 1. But yeah, it was really out there, and I was like, this is really kind of cool. because like you can only drill certain parts because other parts are against the law to black markets and weaponizing, and so, like it's really crazy.
That sounds crazy.
Boom Studios, man.
Uh,
And then outside of that, that's pretty much all I've been reading. Watching wise, I gotta watch the newest episode of Boys tonight. Hopefully after I lay Haley to bed, because I don't want to hear baby mama scream at me again about that one.
Oh, yeah.
And outside of that, that's really it. I'm trying to wrap up Doom 3 in terms of playing. Just kind of take a break of any long games because I know I'm going to be probably dropping a couple 100 hours in Cyberpunk next month. So that's how my week's been.
Cool. All right. Well, as far as what I'm reading, playing, or watching, of course, the X-Men issues that we went over today. Unfortunately, I haven't got into anything other than that, other than some, of course, comic reviews for the Superhero Speak website, which is Villainous #1 and Hollywood Trash #1. So interesting stuff there.
Did you review The Killing Joke by any chance?
Well, I certainly talked about it on the last episode of Superhero Speak. Dave, John, and myself all had a pretty good discussion about that. So yeah, make sure and check that out.
Oh, that episode was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Superhero Speak does a great job. And as far as playing, still just kind of practicing with my Mega Man X speed runs. Outside of that, my next door neighbor decided that he wanted to start playing Overwatch on PC, and it was only $13, so he ended up buying me a copy. So I've been playing Overwatch on PC, which is good. But hey, so listen, if anyone else wants to purchase me video games, I'm just throwing it out there. Octopath Traveler is the next one that I really want bad, just can't cough up to $60 for. So
still $60.
Well, Volsker sent me this thing where you can get a discount, but you gotta catch it. Yeah. Because yeah, it's not just on Switch anymore. You can get it on the PC. So
those Switch games, man. Because yeah, it's Steam only after that, but anything that usually releases on Nintendo first, they keep their value for fucking years.
Yeah. As far as what I'm watching, actually, we haven't got back to The Boys yet, so I do need to. I will probably have to succumb to my wife's wishes and binge that. But it is Rob Liefeld's birthday. Was yesterday, I believe, or maybe it's even today. So in honor of him, I watched Deadpool 2 for the umpteenth time. I enjoyed it just as much. It's my favorite comic book movie. It straight is.
Give us your Colossus. Come on, just do it.
Oh, well, you know what my favorite line of his is after watching again? Is at the end of the movie where he's like, "We need to go before fucking not get back up." Like, just, Colossus cussing is funny to me. And then his death scene where he's like dying for like 5 minutes, that still makes me laugh. That whole movie is just great. Let's go before Fuckonaut gets back.
They have to get him in the MCU soon. They're wasting money by not having him in there.
Yeah, who knows? Because according to Rob Liefeld, who knows, but he says there's no plan whatsoever. But you're right. I would like to see more of Cable. I love Josh Brolin as Cable. I love that character. So yeah.
Here we go. Have Josh Brolin as Cable, and then as Thanos. Then we can get Chris Evans temporarily back as the Human Torch. And Captain America.
Stop it.
Yeah. Well, hey, Thanos is actually dead now, so he can't actually be in the MCU. Well, yeah, it's comic books.
Yeah.
So, outside of that, for whatever random reason, well, I think it was free on Hulu or some shit, or maybe free on Amazon, but I believe it's called The Predators, the last Predator movie. I actually watched that, and
is that the Island to Survive, or is it the one with
no, that's The Predators. I think this one is The Predator. This is the one where they learn, spoiler alert, that the Predators have upgraded themselves.
Yes, Olivia
and
Munn.
capture the autistic kid because to them they're like, hey, autism is actually a next step in evolution for us. It's actually not an illness or anything. With a big fucking predator that don't even have any armor, but just why did they bust out that predator busting suit like right at the end? Like, I don't understand how that wasn't a. Anywho,
Disney bought them out, and I'm sure there's going to be no sequels ever. So.
It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. The music coming back was cool, but them not doing some sort of Arnold cameo. There was a hey, get in the choppers. That was a line. Yeah, get in the choppers. But funny, they weren't actually. Yeah, get in them now. Come kill me. I'm here. Get in them now.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. Who's your daddy and what does he do? But what's funny is the choppers they were talking about were motorcycle choppers. Anyway, I thought it was funny. So yeah, that's what I'm reading, playing, and watching. So all right, gang. Well, listen, great show per usual. Thank you, Mr. Dave, host of Superheroes Speak, and of course the big boss at superheroespeak.com, sir. Other than that, where can we find you, Dave? Where can we find your wonderful host self?
Well, again, yeah, definitely make sure you're checking out superheroespeak.com. There was a review was just posted today, actually. Might know the guy who wrote it. It's for Hollywood Trash #1. Pretty good review.
All right. Guy sounds awesome.
Yeah, and of course we're available anywhere podcasts are available. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all of those crazy places. And you can follow us on the Twitter at SuperheroesSpeak and Instagram. So, and Facebook. I don't know if anyone's on Facebook anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Hey, it saved me from getting attacked for my comments. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Yes, it did.
And yeah, so definitely, and hashtag Free Colossus.
Yes. Yes.
So again, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on. A little bit of short notice there. It's an esteemed nerd, and now can put the Omega level nerd badge on him. It's like, like if you're the president or a coach, the title always stays with you. So
there you go.
It'll always be President Obama, no matter what. That's how it goes. So, all right, J100, sir, where can we find you?
You can find me on the Twitters and the Twitches and the Instagrams at J100, JONEHUNDRED. You can check me out on YouTube at J100 TV. I got a Patreon now that I'm trying to do D&D stuff with, so I think that's like my third tier. I don't know. I really need to like market my Patreon more, because I do want that to be where I guess my community really goes. And then selfishly pays my bills every month, but I want to kind of do like a bi-weekly like hangout, you know what I mean, like what's up with you, ask me whatever. It's a little bit different than Twitch, where I have to, even though I don't, but I have to be a little bit more buttoned up, if you will. But the main thing with the Patreon is the third tier. I wanted to do like an end of the month D&D game with the real ones, if you will. And it's $10 a month, and you get all the other stuff that I should be doing. I'm really bad with this Patreon stuff, so most of this is my fault, but letting you know that's what it is, or that's a thing that we got going on. Then we got the Good Morning Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then we got Mobile Suit Monday nights, and the Wednesday book club. And I should be doing Court of Public Opinion again this week. I don't know, I kind of felt like I shouldn't do it because of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and kind of what's going on with the Supreme Court of the country. I kind of felt like being a fake judge is a little disrespectful to that. But someone very close to me said, "Fuck that shit. Be the best judge possible." And I was like, "You fucking right." So that's what I'm gonna do. Friday, Court of Public Opinion might be coming back. Be there or be judged.
Absolutely. That's right.
Oh, God.
And Volsker, my brother for the same mother, where can we find you, sir?
Yeah, so with this PC graphics card issue that I've been facing,
You are in a pickle.
Yeah, haven't been really able to edit or shoot anything. So I think what I'm gonna do after this weekend, maybe take some time to at least get backed up on some footage. But you guys can at least check out some of my past comic book reviews, unboxings, things over on the YouTubes. Just type in Volsker because I'm still not special enough to have my own custom URL. Hey,
Damn.
but I've gained some followers and I haven't released a video in like a month and a half, so that's always positive.
I like your unboxings.
Honestly, those are the biggest ones. What's crazy is the unboxings and Batman. That is the ones that I get the most because I think I'm pushing close to 2,000 views on the Batman unboxing for the 80th anniversary set.
Nice.
Like, it's insane. Batman just speaks to people. Sorry, Jay, I know you don't agree with that, but
It is.
Outside of that, Twitter at Volsker, Facebook, whatever the Facebook, fb.me/Volsker or whatever, just type in Volsker, it works the same.
Right.
And then on Instagram, it's me, Volsker. And every Sunday night with my homies, getting hot nerdy up in this piece, Omega Level Nerds.
I forgot the Omega Level.
Absolutely. Yes. Every Sunday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/Omega Level Nerds. Available on Apple Podcast app, Podbean, and other random places. So yes, that is where you can find me. You can also follow the show at OmegaLevelNerds.com. I'm trying to get up to 300 followers. It's a slow go. Please go there. Tell your friends follow. Once we hit 300, I will do a giveaway. And Dave, again, you can absolutely enter in to win the hardcover Wolverine, the Claremont and Frank Miller run there with the iconic cover and everything. So please follow us at OmegaLevelNerds.com. My personal Twitter at DSquare72. And other than this Twitch, I have my personal Twitch. So that's going to be, twitch.tv/DSquare72. As far as my YouTube, I also am not cool enough to have a personal URL, but I do have some videos up on there. I do now post the show up there as well. And so just go to YouTube, search Omega Level Nerds, Uncanny X-Men. You'll find us.
That is good to know, actually. I will market the shit out of that playlist. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And of course, comic reviews on superheroespeak.com. Dave has been gracious enough. I was on the show last week. I will be on the show this week as well. So check me out there. And even when I'm not on the show, make sure you go to and check out Superhero Speak. Jay, JD, Dave, John, great show. They're just gracious to have me on every now and then. And there you go. That's where you can find us. So we're going to head off here. Peace and love. And I'll talk to you again soon.
Balls deep.